You're still watching the Media News and Voice of the People television. It's time for the news analysis. We have with us in the studio Delifani Moes is a reporter and also a political and public affairs commentator. Joining us virtually is Moses Sunday, who is the ADC chairman, Ikorodu 1 here in Lagos State. Good afternoon, Mr. Fanimo. Good to have you joined today's
Good afternoon, Moses.
Good afternoon.
Good to be here. All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Moses Sunday.
Yeah, very good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being part of today's Media News. Without wasting much time, I would like to start off with you, Mr. Moses. What do you make of this call for a peaceful dialogue for the release of Nnamdi Kanu? This is coming from Mrs. Bianca Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, who happens to be the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in Nigeria. Recall that when she was appointed with that ministerial position, Nigerians, especially the Southeasterners, some of them were of the opinion that through her mediation, the likes of Nnamdi Kanu will not or no longer be within the DSS custody, or maybe a resolution would have been reached and he must have been granted freedom.
Thank you so much. Bianca Ojukwu, Ambassador, has really spoken the right word, because those that had hope that Mr. President is going to intervene before the court decision are not wishing our nation well. That means anybody may commit an offense, and the presidency will now use their power to truncate a legal process, which is not good for our democracy at all. Even if the president wants to intervene, it is after that may have been exhausted, and this person in question has shown remorse. And there's nothing the Southeast can do than to dialogue now, because truly he has been convicted, and I don't think there is any legal miracle that may happen in the appeal. So the only thing that may be necessary now is to go dialogue, and not the type that they are doing now, as if the guy never committed offense. So I believe that politically they can still get some positive news politically. If they come through what the ambassador have said, then I believe it is workable for them.
Ambassador said. Now, what other peaceful resolution is bigger or greater than the 44 lawmakers who sent a message to the president seeking for the release of Nnamdi Kanu? And also, before that, we saw 50-something other lawmakers, going to pay him a visit, talking about his release, and also prominent Igbos, including the Ohanese in Dibo, and even the Youth Council and every other prominent man there, talking about his possible release, saying that whatever challenge he's having with the federal government is a political issue that desires a political solution, not a criminal one.
Well, the truth is that all of them are just playing politics of sentiment. They are just being sentimental to the truth. Kanu's issue is not political at all. It's a terrorism issue. Because if you look at the social media in the last, after the conviction, there are a lot of people. Because the problem we have in this nation is ethnic and religion. Now, everybody believes that anybody from my ethnic that is doing bad, I should support them because we are the same ethnic. Anybody in my religion that is doing bad, I support them because of my religion, which is totally wrong. So the most important thing is that all those lawmakers that are going there to request for release or discontinuation of the case are just playing on public sentiment.
When you say his problem, or rather that his issues are criminal in nature, you've just said that this afternoon, Mr. Moses, can you help us, elaborate more? When you say it's criminal, not political, help us know so that every Nigerian can understand. What are the things, or what were the things that he said or he did, or how much of a criminal is he? When you say he and whatever thing must have done, they are all criminal issues.
Well, thank God he's been convicted already, so there is no allegedly here.
Exactly.
He's already a terrorist according to the law of conviction. So now what I'm trying to say, if you look at events leading to the NSAS or during the NSAS, there was a broadcast. Previously then, there have been broadcasts. They don't want to see any military men in the East. They should kill all the military men, kill all the police. And we keep seeing it every day. People have been killed. Ahmed Gulak, a PDP chieftain, was killed in Imo State, and they agreed that they killed him. You have the husband of Dora Kiluyi that was also killed in the East. A lot of things, that we see online. He addressing the press after NSAS protests and telling them, go and burn the airport. How many police have you burned? How many police have you killed and collected their rifle? All these things, because if you look at even globally, many people that were convicted even elsewhere, most of them were convicted not because of the action they have done, but because of the what they have inside people. Simon Ekpa was convicted in Finland. He never used a gun to kill anybody, but it is the same insightful statement that he used that is killing people in Nigeria.
Alex Oti, the governor of Abia State, told Nigerians that the killings happening in Abia State should not be pinned on IPOB, that it is more like a political motivated move. In Imo State also, we learned that some of the persons that attacked the home of a member of the House of Rep were also wearing uniforms, supposedly supposed to belong to a certain, security outfit here in Nigeria. And we also saw another broadcast saying that those issues, maybe the ASAN, should not be pinned or tied to the IPOB, saying that those acts are politically motivated, talking about political gladiators and all the states now fighting. Away from that, are you saying that the answers that took place in the whole states in Nigeria, including FCT, happened just because of the broadcast made by Nnamdi Kanu?
No, not at all. Now, the Abia State governor and the Imo State governor, they are saying that it's being political. Like I told you, they are just looking for public sympathy. They want to be accepted by the supporters of IPOB and the supporters of the terrorists. Now, when you talk about NSAS was a pure protest against the brutality of police force.
But he just said that his broadcast was all let away.
Yeah, no. I'm just trying to come to that. Now, where he came in, after that October 20, movement that was restricted, curfew that was placed, and the incident at the toll gate, then he came up immediately and started inciting and giving his people order to burn down police stations.
Are you saying, Mr. Sunday, that the statement of Nnamdi Kanu clearly was what brought about that mayhem that was unleashed in the East? Is that what you're saying?
In the what? I think in the what?
In the Southeast, afterwards, after the NSAS protest.
Yes.
Do you have facts to this, empirical facts to this statement?
Yes, it's everywhere online. If you had listened to Justice Omotosho take his time to read out everything that had happened to IPOB in the East.
All right.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, okay, now, for example, Nnamdi Kanu, like you pointed out, is now in incarceration, the sentenced to life imprisonment until the judgment is appealed. And then we have a certain brigadier general killed in the north by the name Uba. And we've been seeing so many other people, many military men, police, individuals being killed. And all. Are you saying also who gave the order for these people to be killed now to start with? Because since you're pinning the statement made by an individual, to the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, let's look at him now in incarceration. Before he was even incarcerated, when he was there in the DSS custody, we've been seeing people killed, military personnel bombed. I'm talking about even camps being bombarded, Borno under attack. Tell us, please, who should we blame for those carnages or those one-time killings?
In all, even outside the Kanu's conviction, government had to be blamed for every insecurity in Nigeria. Right. The APC government has not done well in security. Because even if IPOB is misbehaving in the East, the policemen, though, at a point during Buhari's tenure, the late Buhari's tenure, when he tried to rein in the IPOB in the East, there were every condemnation from every center that he wants to use soldiers to kill them, instead of getting them freed from the IPOB terrorism. But sincerely speaking, the federal government is to be blamed, because the government take the first priority of securing the citizen. And if it cannot secure that and now telling us a bandit somewhere has more power than the government, then it should have been better for the government to resign.
All right, then. Let's bring this conversation back to the studio. Thank you so very much, Mr. Sunday, for your submission. Let's take this conversation to the studio. Mr. Fanimo, maybe in 30 seconds, what's your take about the fact that Bianca Ojukwu clearly is saying what almost every other person have been saying, that the issue surrounding Nnamdi Kanu should be politically driven and not just going beyond the courts? And of course, afterwards, we might just go to Guinea-Bissau, where we have one of our own in that country.
For me, since last year, I knew this is likely to be the end result. And I've always said that political solution is the best approach to this. Those who are flexing muscle, where are they today? Are they with Nnamdi in Sokoto? It's only the wife and the children. And Nigeria is such a funny place. If something big happens tomorrow, you'll be shocked that Nigeria will move on to begin to address that particular thing. And they may end up forgetting me in that place. Look, either we like it or not, the only opportunity left now is this political solution. And when the government appointed Bianca Ojukwu as minister, I was upbeat that with her influence, having been a diplomat, she understands diplomatic shuttle and moves, that things will get better. But those who didn't want him to come out before the next election, they were angling for, no, you'll be a martyr. Go, fight on. The same way they urged MK Abiola to fight on. Where is MK Abiola's empire today?
Huge question. But then again, you also are saying that the political solution is what is needed in this particular case.
We can't exhaust it until the whole thing is resolved.
All right, then let's go to Guinea-Bissau, where, interestingly, AU ECOWAS observers are still kept, I don't want to use the word trapped, but they are still stuck in Guinea-Bissau, a country.
If they can get out, that's when you cannot use that word.
Oh, well. The country...
The man has shut down the airport. He has closed his borders. Is that not trap?
Well, again, he's only trying to safeguard...
We are journalists, we are not diplomats.
Okay. All right, let's get to it. Interestingly, as it stands, the AU ECOWAS mission in that election did say that the vote was orderly. And from what we hear, in fact, yesterday, the opposition leader did proclaim himself the winner of the election. The team of the president, I'm talking about Mbalo, also did say that the one that won the election. Interestingly, the Electoral Commission is supposed to declare results today, Thursday. But yesterday, we heard of military taking over that particular country. What's your take about these whole conversation of, I'm still using the word detaining observers in the country up to this time?
Nobody has ordered that they should be detained. So they are not detainees. They are not kept in one cell or one house arrest.
Borders are closed, airports are shut down.
They are trapped.
Okay.
And not detained.
Okay.
They still have access to moving around, doing anything they want to do within the country. They cannot get out. So that is it. But now you realize what I've always said, that the role of AU, ECOWAS, whatever regional body or international body, is advisory in nature. They can't send those boys back to the barracks. Because that country, however small, however poor, I understand that it's the poorest country in the world. However poor, nobody can usurp the sovereignty of that country. So, as it stands, we just pray that harm does not come the way of our former president and other dignitaries that went to observe.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Fanimo. Mr. Moses Sunday, let's get your opinion on this. The coup d'etat in Guinea-Bissau, this will make it the 7th African country to be under military rule after Madagascar was taken over last 2 months by the military in that country. Now we're getting this information that just yesterday the proclamation was made. And it doesn't really look like they're going to back down anytime soon. Recall that they've been having back and forth, coup, and then possible transition into democratic rule and all that. What does this really portend for the continent, Africa, with the likes of Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, all happen to be under junta leaders?
Yeah, thank you. It just shows how Africa has refused to move forward. I believe it's not the fault of the citizen. Many of us that are still young men, maybe few people that are very young, never have an idea of how military rule dictatorship works. Because we are now seeing democracy as not giving us what we wanted. And the truth is that for those that knew in a military autocracy rule, you don't have a voice at all. So though in democracy, you still have a voice, we can shout at each other, do a lot of things, but Africans, it's just how we are still going backward. Because I believe that two things would have not happened in that country. Had it been the election was really true and fair, it should have not happened. Then has it been that the people see the democratic government deliver true governance to the people, it will not also have happened. But in all, I wish that the military would just exit the power and immediately get in a new democratic system in place. Because as it is now, the greed of the military will come in.
When you say the greed of the military coming in, Mr. Moses, what Nkanha, who happens to be the one that read out that takeover yesterday, he said that they had to come in because they learned of a possible destabilization of the country by drug lords and also people who do proliferation, saying that that was the reason they stepped in to make sure that it restore the country to normalcy. Recall that Guinea-Bissau, who happened to be a good link, for drug lords and even when they are the poorest nation, in Africa and all that. So isn't that a good way for them to step in and end the upsurge of drug activities, illicit substance activities?
Well, let me just take you to Burkina Faso and Mali and even Niger. When they took power in Niger, they said insecurity is the reason they have taken power. Till today, the insecurity in Niger has doubled. More powerful everywhere. Now the same thing with Burkina Faso and Mali. At a point it was reported that I think Mali or Burkina Faso could not access PMS because the terrorists were at the border destroying every tanker. Now the thing is that the military or anybody will always give you reasons why they do things, but at the end of the day it is greed that covers those things. Because if you are telling us that there will be disorganization in the country,
some quarters will disagree with you on that anyways, but because of our time, really, let's jump to another conversation, and I want to still stay with you. The Christian Association of Nigeria has urged the federal government to strengthen security, clearly because of the recent insecurity situation that we found ourselves as a nation. But before I get your reaction, because I wanted to find out from you what your position would be on this part of associations like the Christian Association calling on the leadership of the presidency to do well with insecurity. Interestingly, the priest of Ebenezer Angelical Church in Chikun, Kaduna State, Reverend Edwin Archie, did die in captivity. Of course, we're still talking insecurity. These have been ongoing for a while now. But if my producers are ready, there's a particular figure I want us to see from 2010, I think, I'm not so sure, to this point, how much Nigeria has spent on acquiring arms. That is quite a number that a lot of us, if our producers are ready, let's have that on the screen quickly. That's quite a number that a lot of countries that are not even up to Nigeria, that are not also experiencing insecurity, would have done better with. There you have it. From 2010 to 2025, the figure is quite interesting. 820.6 billion naira on importation of arms and ammunition between 2010 and 2015. Yet, security operatives consistently say we don't have equipment. Who should we hold responsible in all of this? And how better can Nigerian government do, both this present administration and the ones to come, when it comes to insecurity in Nigeria?
The souls of the bishop that and we are also hoping that the wife that is also remaining in custody will be free on time without having another casualty. Now, coming to the Khan watch, like I said earlier, the presidency since 2010 till now have showed they are not capable of doing their major contribution to securing human lives. Now, I believe there is need, though I saw a statement by Mr. President yesterday that if that is giving the flesh, if that statement is giving flesh, then we can say that it is going to be a better day for security. He has talked about state police. He has given the National Assembly to use the minimum time to approve it for every state that needs state police. That is one thing that's good, because most people know they are terrorists. I'm telling you the truth. Most people know who terrorizes them. A news broke out in Castina in the last week where they said the kidnappers kidnapped some people. Now the villagers, they asked the villagers for 100 million per person. Now the villagers went to the kidnappers' family, kidnapped their parents, kidnapped their children, and at the end of the day, they have to negotiate to exchange prisoners, to exchange victims. The kidnapper had no choice than to say, okay, release our people, we'll release your people. And they said, release our people first. So to tell you that most people know they are terrorists. Now, if there is state police now, I believe that most of those individuals that join the police will now know that you don't allow these people come in, because it's going to be against you, against your family, against your home and everything. So the president said is going to approve state police, number one. Then he said he's going to end open grazing. That's number two.
Well, they've come out to debunk that particular statement. Just to clarify on that, the federal government has come out to say that that was not what was meant. I'm talking about the open grazing. And as it stands, that clearly is off the table. But concerns are being raised about the fact that statements like this are being made by the president, which, again, some quarters have called sound bites, because when the president was going to inaugurate this new service chief, he did say that Nigerians would not take excuses for an answer. And after that particular period, we've been having incessant attacks and kidnapping all across the nation. What do you make of this statement? Because you alluded to that statement as a strong statement. And of course, state policing is not just about the first time that we're hearing this in Nigeria.
Well, like I said, if the president is bold enough to give it flesh, like the open grazing, the president shows some naivety, because he said, because I read the statement directly from his handle, what he said is that he is encouraging the herdsmen to now embrace open grazing, to end open grazing, and now encourage that ranching is the way forward. What I expect him to say is that I am stopping open grazing. Now, why he's trying to debunk it, I don't know why he's showing some fear or some naivety in that aspect, because he did not openly say that I'm banning. He said herdsmen should discourage open grazing now. That is why he established a livestock farming, and that after that he will now talk to that he's now looking at ranching, and the government is ready to support ranching. That's what he has said there. So trying to hide from I am banning it. Exactly. So that is what it. But what I'm saying is that you should give those words flesh, like you have opined, so that it's not a matter that will keep talking and no action. So the recruitment of police, how many personnel is there? Then, like what we have suspended so far, it seems like some people are making business from this terrorism in the military. That is how it looks like. Because the former president bought a lot of machines, and I don't see a reason why our troop on the ground will be moving, and there will be no ear surveillance and ear bombardment immediately. Recently, Boko Haram and Aswipe were doing movies on Lake Chad waters that border Nigeria and Lake Chad, and we have Air Force. All these things is just like the government is toying with terrorism and are not ready to let it go.
All right, then. Thank you so very much, Mr. Moses Sunday, for your submission. Then let's bring it back to the studio. Mr. Fanimo, interestingly, this conversation, we cannot expand it furthermore because of time, but we want your position and opinion on the fact that insecurity, like we know, has bedeviled Nigeria to the point that a lot has been said severally by several quarters. Now, questions are being raised about figures that keeps coming out year in, year out in the budget, particularly on the part of the equipment for our security officers. From your position, Mr. Fanimo, you did also hear just last week when Sheikh Gumi did say that the 500 million naira, I beg your pardon, $1 million military equipment that was supposed to be bought under late President Buhari was just used by some quarters within the Aso Rock. How can Nigeria do better with figures that we keep showing out when it comes to taxpayers' money on the part of equipment for our security operatives?
You see, the point is, from the point of disbursement to the end users, you always find out that monkeys will intervene. And it has always been a recurring issue. Talking seriously, corruption is embedded in insurgency, and insurgency is embedded in corruption.
What?
That is why even military commanders, they prefer to go to Sambisa than remain in South Niger Delta, because you can trace the trajectory of money in Niger Delta, but you cannot trace that of Sambisa.
Is it really corruption, or is it that the military and the government is a bit overwhelmed? Because recall the statement. Remember the statement made by Bayo Onanuga about how they were made strong to the point that they had to go in for negotiation with these bandits for them to release the schoolgirls from Kebbi State, saying that they were using them as shield, human shield. So, and when you check it out, some Nigerians are saying, go in for full bombardment, let us have some casualties and all that. But how do you think we'll be able to end this whole back and forth, especially when we've learned that the major reason for this kidnapping attitude is for them to make more money, raking more funds for themselves and their families?
You see, it is easier to fight a war than a guerrilla or insurgency war. The war between Ukraine and Russia, you see two armies facing themselves with uniform. But these marauders, most of them, the only thing they do occasionally is to wear fatigue dress. Apart from that, there is no way you can identify them until you see guns and other weapons in their possession. So it's difficult. And since they have added kidnapping to their operation, for instance, do you think Nigeria would take kindly if in the process of trying to rescue those girls, just one of them died in the process, in the shootout? Nigerians will not take it kindly to the federal government. And the soldiers will not do that because the ultimate aim is to rescue.
Well, again, some would say, after that rescue, what happened with the bandits? Because intelligence definitely should know where these guys are.
They are not going to wait for the military to come and take them while they are on guard.
All right.
They will just leave those ladies around, and then they will come and pick them.
All right, then. Well, because of our time, really, this is where we have to draw anchor on the analysis segment of the media news. We've been talking with Mr. Dele Fanimo, a seasoned reporter and, of course, a public and political affairs commentator, and also Mr. Moses Sunday, ADC Chairman, Ikorodu 1. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for being here and lending your voice.
It's always my pleasure.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Sunday, as well, for lending your voice on the analysis segment.
Yeah, thank you very much. Point of correction, I'm not the ADC Chairman in Ikorodu.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm one of the leaders in Ikorodu and the state official.
All right. Thank you so very much for that correction. We'll take a quick break right now. And when we return, SDP presidential candidate Adebayo says Nigeria drifting towards a one-party state. These and more we'll be talking about on the media news when we return. Please stay with us.